jumps and tries to do the frog slap.
Yeah.
It feels like he did it for years.
We've seen a lot of wrestlers talk about him behind the scenes, and yeah, he's a Paul, so he's a big
celebrity
joke to us,
right?
But he's like oddly enough to make the comparison, like Keanu Reeves. When it comes to the work, they're all like he's actually takes to things very quickly. He's very interested. He does his best.
I guess we saw him a celebrity. Celebrity going to wrestling, right? People like but they don't realize he cares. He did way better. Him and Pat.
Yeah,
Pat McAfee did a
really good
thing in there.
But I mean, he's way more athletic than you would expect. I mean, he's good on the mic.
Yes,
he definitely knows how to annoy people. He's a fun heel. He reminds me of Miz, right? And in all honesty,
and you think about it, Miz is the one that pretty much trained him anyway.
Exactly. So but he's a better performer than a lot of people want to give him credit for, and he's earning his respect in the locker room.
All right, well, we only got a couple minutes left, so let's say who we're gonna have. CM Punk versus Steph. Who you got?
Didn't Punk? I feel like Punk won the last one that they had, so it's got to be Seth.
In the cage, I'm thinking it's gonna be Steph.
Yeah, it's gonna be Seth.
Speaking of Logan Paul, he's supposed to be fighting AJ Styles.
I need AJ to get that win.
Yeah. Okay.
I need him to get that win.
But I don't think he is. I think they're gonna push Logan.
I see. I want AJ to get the win, so that way, if Cena wins the title, it's not going to be him and Rhodes fighting, but him and AJ having a retirement match.
Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee versus the New Day.
I'm telling you, I've been over this already, and I hope the New Day wins.
Yeah,
I'm so over this back. I don't know why.
They just need to. If you got the heel, use the heel more. Put a third guy, maybe. I don't know.
It's not even that for me, because they did try that, and they got rid of that guy for some reason from joining the New Day.
Well, you remember? That was corporate that did, because they went online on their up, down, and they were saying they don't know why they did that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, so they didn't get that third edition that was supposed to come in, but I'm just really tired of LWO getting these overly stretched out rivalries. I like the talent. I like the wrestlers.
Yeah, they need to do something with.
I don't know how many times I can watch somebody fight Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired of it.
They need to do something with them.
They really do.
Who you got with Flair?
It's Flair versus
Tippy Time.
I hate both of them. We all lose.
And we all lose no matter what.
Yeah, we all lose.
That's messed up. That is so messed up.
I hate both of them in the ring. So we all lose. I honestly, that's going to be my pee break. I'm telling you. I'm going to take me nice number 2.
Pretty deadly going for the tag team belts versus DIY.
I want DIY to retain. I hated Pretty Deadly when they were tag team champions in NXT UK.
I think they're annoying, so I would say DIY is going to lose it.
Oh,
just because Pretty Deadly is just annoying.
They cheat better. Yeah, they cheat better. They cheat more frequent. I just don't know if the American audience likes them enough. I think
with this
love
push,
DIY.
With this little push of DIY screwed them, and now they're going to come back and fight them. I think it's a storyline that will help them, but I don't think, especially nowadays, I'm sorry, but they pushing themselves too much, flamboyance and all this. It might not work for them.
And that's what I'm saying. So I remember when Pretty Deadly won in UK.
Yes,
their title win came out of nowhere. Their title reign was a lot longer than people expected.
Yes.
I don't think that same thing can work on the main brand. No. I think that they need to be rebranded. I think that they need to be seen as more competent. They make a lot of their wins still seem like it was lucky.
Make them, because they are freaking heck of a tag team.
They are athletic. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like their gimmick hurts them on this level.
Change that gimmick up.
Look how long it took for DIY to get the title.
Or give them a manager that says, this is not working for you.
Yep.
And changes their whole thing, and then they become so...
Hey, Cross, a new storyline.
Oh, there you go, right? Now, what do you think about Tony losing his belt to the Perfect 10? Oh, no, there's no more the Perfect 10. It's Sean Spears now. Wow. D'Angelo lost the belt to him.
Look.
I thought he was going to get betrayed by one of D'Angelo's men. That's what I thought was going to happen. his what they call it, the
underboss.
the underboss. Yeah, I thought he was going to betray him.
I like Sean Spears. I like the Perfect 10. I like him having a title. I don't like how this storyline came together. He feels like a watered down version of Karrion Kross when Karrion Kross was on NXT.
Yes.
Right? And then the way they went about a lot of these matches and all that, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I will add this. The perfect opportunity for D'Angelo to finally win the big belt, and he's already beaten Obafemi for it before.
Yep.
So that's the only good thing about it. I'm happy that someone holding the belt is Spears. Don't get me wrong. It's just the whole thing didn't come together the way I would have wanted it for either one of them.
Yeah, because it definitely sounded like it was going to be a betrayal going in there. Mm-hmm. And the underboss seemed like he was the one that was going to do it, but it didn't go that way. But maybe it is time for him to go for a different belt. He made that belt as it is perfectly the way it is now. Mm-hmm. Spears might elevate it somewhat, but I think another story that will pop up is have the two girls fight as well.
Yes.
You know, and bring maybe a female championship into that family as well.
Well, I mean, they did introduce the female equivalent to the North American Championship.
Yeah.
It's just that I feel like a lot of the women who have been valet types, especially on NXT, maybe later on, they don't normally end up in a lot of actual matches these days.
Yeah, they're more talking or hitting each other once in a while.
It's unfortunate. I need them to develop more to be more in ring, and especially on NXT, which has been a big thing for years with NXT. The women who do wrestle, they usually have a lot of talent. A lot of them are very good. When they get to the main roster, I feel like they're underutilized. I don't even know what the hell they're doing with Piper Niven, because she was
my son was
on NXT UK.
My son said the other day they should have just kept her as Dewdrop.
But even as Dewdrop, I'm saying she was better utilized storyline wise, in ring wise. She seemed more when she was on NXT and NXT UK. I don't know what's happened since she's been main roster. It feels like they've
I can't wait to the turn. When she turns on Green.
That's gonna be fun.
You know?
I say she should take the belt from her.
Even though Green is the front, the first, the youngest, the longest.
Dewdrop Piper Niven needs to take that belt from her.
Yeah.
Period.
Everyone's saying why Green has a belt for so long, because she's annoying and she's the perfect annoying champion.
She's the one who makes
she makes it relevant, especially when she says, "I'm the first, the youngest, the oldest, the longest." I was like, "Oh, duh, you're the only one."
That's the point. But this is my thing about her. I think everybody doesn't understand how much respect Chelsea Green as a wrestler has in industry from her career. Mm-hmm. And when you introduce a new title, right, and especially for women, you need to have somebody to make it relevant. Because remember, they dropped the United States Championship and the Intercontinental Championship for women in the same week, right? Or in the same 2 weeks, whatever. Yeah. Like it was that same month, they were back to back, whatever. We don't talk about the Intercontinental Championship. We don't talk about Valkyria. We don't talk about her because she's boring. I don't even know why they gave her the damn title.
Yo, I was mad. I'm sorry.
I hate, especially with Mi Chin there, right? Who has a whole bunch of people who would want outcome with her, a former Impact Women's Championship, and they give it to Lyra Valkyrie, who's been boring since she's entered NXT UK, right? They've hyped up this woman all the way through. I don't get it.
She came on NXT. You had like 2 or 3 good matches in the beginning, and then after that, I was like, the only thing exciting about her a little bit is the entrance.
She's not overly attractive. She's not overly athletic. She's not overly entertaining. There's nothing exceptional about her. And not to say she's bad, but I'm like, you're literally in a division with a lot more personalities, a lot more baddies, a lot more athletic people. Why is she the first? But on the opposite end, you have Chelsea Green, right? And this lady can wrestle, but above all else, she's a mic queen. If I have to talk crapping, and I find more often than not the U.S. Championship is better on the mic than the Intercontinental, but the Intercontinental is probably a better wrestler. This case, Chelsea Green, I'd rather watch way more, and she's not even talking as much as she should be. Yep. So
Chelsea Green reminds me a little bit about the dentist on AEW. They both have that mouth that can talk and irritate you, but you want to watch her.
Yes.
You have to watch her.
You're hoping she's going to lose, and she somehow cheats or gets lucky or whatever. You're like, damn. But then there are the few matches where she just wins, and you're like, well, it was believable. She dominated, right? Like, you know.
But even in all the matches that she wins or loses, she always shows about
that she
2 minutes or 3 minutes that she can wrestle.
Yeah, and that's why I'm never disappointed. Like, is she the one that I wanted to win that championship? No. But do I understand it? Yes, because now as you're developing this title and everybody's hoping for her to lose, what are you doing? Watching the matches. Who is she beating? Names of note. Giving relevance to women deserving, which they have for a while, a second championship to fight for.
Yep.
So shout out to Chelsea Green.
And now she has Fire came back to help her.
Oh, Alba Fire. That was random.
That's what I was like, who the heck is... And when they was like coming back, and I'm like, who was coming back?
What is she saluting to? She's from the UC.
Yeah, did she citizenship?
You see what I'm saying? Like, but where's Isla Dawn? Because that was the real baddie of the two. Like,
maybe she's coming back too. Maybe, because, and this was something that Chelsea Green told. I keep calling her Dewdrop.
Piper
Niven. She said, "Well, maybe we need to boost up our security." She said it a couple of weeks ago, and here it comes when they gave her Piper Niven's a match, and she said, well, who's going to protect me? Right. And this guy was like, that's not my business. And she looked, she's like, I think we need to step up our security.
Yep.
She already said she was going to get some people. So, but her, that was shocking.
Well, I will also note that I don't see often female factions.
And this is a good one. That's probably going to be developing.
This could be something that's developing, but I would love to actually get some sort of real factional war for when they make them do war games again. That's
maybe they
that's all I'm saying.
Maybe they're doing one because of Liv. Liv has Rodriguez,
right? But they still have to build a 4 or 5 team member.
Or maybe they are going to get, because remember how this guy keeps saying we don't need another member. Maybe they are going to get another female member. It could happen.
All I'm saying is I know the last war game felt very like Rush put together with the women.
It did.
The guys usually end up having 2 or 3 factions going on at a time where it makes sense. But with the women, let's get a real faction on faction battle. I think the last time we had something like that was with Io Sky and that group.
Yeah.
Right? And that was great. And that was awesome.
But they got a lot of injuries in that group.
Exactly.
And Bailey had to go, separate.
Yeah.
So, and Bailey's doing a heck of a job pushing other wrestlers and continue doing the good work, but I want to see you back in the belt.
I'm going to say this and always say this. As long as she has Bailey to belly as a finisher, I don't care for her to win a title.
Yeah. No, but she got some new ones.
She does, but literally, I don't know if you remember her last big win.
Yeah.
She won with Bailey to belly.
I just like when she twists because I don't say
I don't mind.
And again, for y'all internet people, that's not a BBL. That's real.
She Latina, y'all forget that.
That's real.
I know she. Believe me, I was surprised when I found out too.
Yeah,
she is Latina.
Also, belt change, which I don't like. LA Knight got the belt. I'm not saying that I don't like LA Knight to get the belt. I'm just upset that they keep giving this guy the belt and then they take it away from him so quickly.
Who, Shinsuke?
Yes.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. When Shinsuke should have won the belt, the WWE belt, was in that first year or two before the nut kicking with AJ Styles, which was ridiculous. And I think now you can see it in Shinsuke. He's not of a wrestler's physique anymore, which is what Sheamus got a lot of flack about and stuff like that. They also somehow turned him from being a top guy, a top prospect from Japan, despite his age. And he also did spend a lot of time mentoring a lot of the other Japanese wrestlers. I think that's part of why he's even there more so than even
now he's in that new thing, training.
So, but he was teaching a lot of like EO. He was teaching even Asuka English. But he isn't the wrestler he was that excited fans. He doesn't have the buzz that he had. Making him a champion even now I didn't feel like it was the time for him to be champion.
Well, not only that is they didn't
do much with it.
He didn't name me a couple fights he had. It's like he really didn't have many fights.
It's not. It wasn't. I don't think it was a time. I think it was one of those. It's believable he's champion, and we want to move the belt real quick.
Because it's a new. He bring out. Well, again, for y'all wrestler fans, that's not a new character. He just bring back a character.
But I think it was just something because they're like, we don't know exactly what to do with this right now.
Right.
And he's a former champion. He is very random in general. He is a heel for the most part.
Now the question is he going to go back in the shadows or is he going to try to fight again?
I think right now.
And if they fight again, this back and forth thing has to stop.
I think that's been what's hurting WWE in general is that some of these rivalries, some of these back and forths, they go too long.
Yeah. Here's one. Get a triple threat match, and whoever the third person is, since they hate each other so much, and they fighting, and they don't realize, bam, here goes the third guy and wins the match.
Just to give something fresh, I mean, there is enough talent where I don't even care if it's Carlito, but someone new.
They need to do something with Carlito.
For real.
Because his brothers are back in Impact, and they are making a name already. So if Carlito's brothers come in, it's going to be dangerous.
Honestly, I think that's what they're waiting on is that they can pick up those guys. So that way Carlito is like, because remember, Finn Balor was spazzing on him, not realizing that, they're spazzing on him, spazzing on Dominic and whatever. And at some point, Carlito's always the brunt of jokes because he's like, what are you even here for, they've said.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to get Rodriguez. That's why.
I'm not even mad at that.
He keeps hitting on her, and it's like, one day he'll get it. I don't know, one day.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, when he's ready and his brothers come, he's going to be like, well, you guys haven't been treating me so well, so I got my own little family back. And boom.
And that's cool.
Because I want factions again.
Yes.
There's no dominant
if you
faction
think about
anymore.
The Attitude Era had so many factions, and it was so great because everybody was fighting each other. And this way, even if you're not wrestling, you're still being seen because you're in that group.
It was a great way for certain stars to rise up. It was a great way to have big battles. To out of nowhere, you're like, what's going on? Well, these two have always had beef, and now he's a member of so and so, and you're like, oh wow. I think. Well, I mean, I think we can agree the Attitude Era might just be the greatest era in wrestling across the board.
I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. They just mess it up for everybody else because they can't go above it.
Well, I think now,
but at least try to match it.
I think now with streaming platforms being the option, right? AEW, WWE, Impact, whatever, right? They're no longer bound to the rules of network television that requires some level of PC, right? The same stuff that would get them lawsuits back during the Attitude Era, the same stuff that was controversial during the Attitude Era, right? You can do now freely, especially now that there's an understanding of what's real and what's not in wrestling now, which makes it less controversial. I hate to say it, especially with a lot of the women now actively and actually being great athletes, but I don't think it would hurt anybody to bring back the bra and panty match, right? I can definitely skip all those dance battles. Don't get me wrong; those were pointless and whatever. But
unless it's a Rikishi,
that's fire. That was true. The two-step going on every time. You want to see them win just to dance at the end. Let's be real. Well, I mean, a lot of that risky sexuality, a lot of the over-the-top cursing, the bloody violence, which you're seeing happen more and more now, especially with like Cody Rhodes and the family stuff. I think they can bring back some of that stuff from the Attitude Era, from Ruthless Aggression, and elevate it from being PG-13 to maybe TV-17. Right. If you don't want to go all the way there, because there still is the youth fan base. But I remember your WWE Saturday morning TV run lost a lot of fans. So let's mature it up again. Let's get back to that. You have the option now. Yeah,
and also bringing up the family stuff. How did you feel about the whole? Because to me, with the whole thing of changing from Cody to John Cena, which John Cena already warned us that was going to happen. John Cena was supposed to go heel
A while ago.
When he was the hip hop guy.
Yeah.
That was when he was supposed to go heel, but the fans
didn't want it.
They had tried. But a lot of people now, again, wrestling fans, wrestler fans. The wrestler fans were like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Wasn't y'all guys talking about John Cena, sir?
Yup.
Remember that?
Yup.
So y'all already had him as a heel, but he never turned into the heel.
Right.
So, and then there was a couple times where he showed a little heel thing, when he was fighting The Rock, when he was talking about The Rock.
He has it in him. Yeah, he has it in him.
That's why when The Rock called him Fruity Pebble and all this stuff, and and they were going back and forth and fighting, that was the heel showing that he can be a heel. So now it's time for him to be the heel. But is he really going to be a heel, or is he going to turn? So that's the question. Is he just acting to get where he needs to go, and then turns back into what you wanted, and it was all an illusion?
Right.
We don't know. But it has been done before.
Ride the wave, people. Ride the wave.
And this is a good storyline because, like he said, they gave it to people that just came back, which he's mentioning Flair.
Bro, Charlotte Flair should not have won.
Nothing.
Honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Look at the talent that was in that ring, right? Look at the performance from Roxanne Perez, who, she's definitely shown being a very good wrestler in NXT, two-time NXT Women's Champion, trained by Booker T.
The youngest champion.
And you literally look at the performance in that Rumble. You want to talk about one of the few people not making tons and tons of mistakes every 5 seconds, right? So you have that going on.
Step. Charlotte is a good wrestler, especially when she does a jump.
But she's just coming back.
You can't. I can see if she just came back this time, but she came back, and each time was in the championship.
Immediately. I don't know if that's written into her contract or what. Is that something that Flair bargained for?
That was into the Flair thing.
And don't get me wrong, right? I understand that Flair has a huge fan base in wrestling. But when you have people actively wrestling,
and better,
right? Look, just now you had to waste Rhea Ripley's championship in a match with Io Sky where a championship changed on a Raw when that was your WrestleMania. You get what I'm saying? You have Io Sky.
And I like that Io Sky got it. I just don't like the way she got it. With Rhea looking back at and Belair didn't do nothing to her, like didn't distract her.
When does Belair cheat? That's why it makes no sense. When does Belair cheat? What?
It could have been different if she would have grabbed the rope, acting like she was going to do something, and then but she was just standing there.
What I'm hoping this leads to is a triple threat for their championship, so that way it's not as boring as the one that I'm going to take a poop on. Because I'm telling you.
No, but I think it's leading to Rhea to become more demon-like. Because she said, "Oh my God, I let her control me, and I'm tired of people control." You can see the anger coming out. So maybe she's gonna come more mean and more aggressive.
People really did enjoy Rhea as a villain in the stable, right? And when you separate her from the stable, and she was
becoming too much of a face.
You turned her into an anti-hero more so than even a face, right? She's like Venom, right? But that's still not as bad as she wants to be. I think her heel run was more favorable for fans. They love the mommy angle. They love the bad guy angle. She went all dark and everything. And she's always been on the darker side in her, WWE career, in the NXT run and whatever. When people are rooting for her, I don't think we've seen her platinum bronze since she left Australia. Yeah.
Well, when she came in NXT, she had the short hair, but she changed it right away. And
you get what I'm saying?
She was always goth.
She's always that punk rock, whatever. And I think now we want Rhea to be a villain. I think people are used to seeing dark Rhea. They want dark Rhea. They don't want her to be the good guy.
And not even a villain. I think it's more of a selfish me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do.
You made her a solo artist for what reason?
And that's what happened. But John Cena being part of their family, like I said, it has been done with Edge, Stone Cold, when Stone Cold corporate with the suit. That was so funny. But it's been done. But the thing is, I don't know if people notice, I was watching the thing. Rock is one of those talkers that throw hints when you're not really paying attention. He threw hints with his hands. He first said, if you're going to be with us and Rock does this, are you going to be with us? But this time he went this. Then when he told John Cena to kill it, he went 2 left. That's what I'm thinking. So maybe he's bringing 2 more people into the family. You never know. Or maybe he's just saying it's done. We don't know. With The Rock, he can say so many things with his signatures and his moves and stuff like that. But The Rock also said, are you going to join me? I want your soul. Join. And then he said, join us.
Right.
Who's us?
Well, I mean, there's still the bloodline. Right?
Could be. That's why I was thinking Jay, maybe. That would be a thing that you never would see.
That would be like, oh, snap.
Because if you think about it, Jay's been having problems beating Gunther.
True.
Wrestlemania, and he kept saying, nobody believes in me. It's only a person that believes in me. Who's that person?
Everybody assumed he was talking about himself.
Maybe he's talking about The Rock.
And I mean, remember, they just did the bloodline versus, OG bloodline versus the bloodline. They just did that. They finished that rivalry. Roman did his thing.
Yeah.
You
never know.
There's so much left undone post the bloodline wars that we don't know how any of that can play into Jay's match. Like you said, The Rock could be the person backing him. Roman and them can be coming in and be like
something.
He can come interfere in the match to beat Gunther and just be like, I owed you for helping me then. Because I mean, were we expecting Jay to work with him again? No.
No one's really even expecting Jay to win. And this is WrestleMania. A WrestleMania moment of Jay winning is someone coming to cheat.
Let's really talk about it. Anybody fighting Gunther already sounds like a boring match because of Gunther.
Gunther is not a
right.
Remember, he's a brutal. He's a Brock Lesnar type match.
No, Brock Lesnar is more interesting to watch because at least you're wondering how long they're going to last. Gunther's matches. This is why he had the longest or one of the longest Intercontinental Championship reign, and
besides not wrestling,
and we don't remember, we don't remember most of it.
Nope.
We don't remember. There are not a lot of notable matches. In fact, most of those matches, if anyone gained any notoriety, it was Chad Gable.
Yeah, when they did that match.
Everybody who fought Gunther had their names elevated. But
now it's going to be Lucha Gable because he's out there looking for Lucha Libre type of thing.
But my whole thing is just kind of like, he's always been a boring champion. He was more entertaining in his NXT UK run. And
when he was fat, he was more entertaining.
And even more so, it's just kind of like, I think with the slim down, his wrestling style just doesn't fit the look. And, he's very boring.
But now it will pump it up because of Jay.
Yeah, Jay is the reason.
And Jay has not beat him yet.
I feel like Jay has to win for everyone, for the business, for the fans, for wrestling, because they need to stop pushing Gunther until Gunther figures it out, right? For whatever reason, he's not even, I'm sorry, he's been a heel his entire time. It's been maybe somewhere between 5 and 7 years he's been in WWE branding, and no one cares for him. Like, they're heels that people love to be heels, and then he's just this guy they keep pushing as a heel, and nobody really.
Even with Gunther, they lost the story because the person that's supposed to take the belt was
yes. Thank you. That guy should have turned on him so long ago.
Especially the last time when he slapped him, he said, "You're disappointing me," and he looked mad. I was like, okay, he's gonna come. He's gonna get the belt, and he's gonna challenge him. That was the perfect story.
When Imperium is no longer Imperium, right? The Italian dude left. They tried to rebrand him. I don't think I really noticed him since he's come back with the flashy car or whatever, right? The Wolfgang used to be with them back in the day when they were a 4-man team. And he was wrestling Impact. I think he left Impact. I don't even know where he's at anymore.
No, I think he's. I seen him in TNA. Was it AEW?
That's what I'm saying. The last time I saw him, he was in Impact.
Yeah, he was in Impact.
And then I haven't seen him. I think he went back to the UK. My stuff is that group slowly fell apart.
That was a perfect moment.
With these 2 people. He's absolutely been abusing him for years.
That would have been a perfect moment.
And he decides to go into a triple threat back and forth nonsense, trying to figure out who gets to beat Pentagon.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid, and that was a waste.
Such a waste.
Speaking of wastes, they wasted 2 spots with Pentagon. I love that guy. He's a good, but he's too fast for these guys. So now he's slowing himself down and looking kind of funny. But also, I like how they bring back Nexus. Oh no, my bad. That's not the name. Those 5 guys, they're the same as the Nexus, coming in and doing the same thing they do. Like all of a sudden you bring a show just like Toughen Up, and then you bring the guys just like Nexus. Like, what the heck is going on? What the heck? I was like, oh my god! And then they looked sloppy. They were supposed to keep the mask on. The mask was oh my god! They killed it as soon as they bring it because they haven't even come back out for the past week or 2. But I was like, what a waste! Like, who are these guys?
Well, remember that was like that Mustafa Ali group when they first came and they were trying to hide it, and you were like, "That's clearly Mia Yim." Yeah, that's Mia Yim. Yeah, that's this big guy.
Like, we already knew. Like, no one could do it as the Nexus did when they first came out. We had Miz. No, the Miz wasn't on the Nexus, right? It was Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins was the Nexus.
And Wade Barrett, and all of them. Wade Barrett turned out to be the leader. Mm-hmm. So they were coming out and beating up people. Now you're going to do the same thing and then make it look like it's a new fashion. Like, no, it's been done.
At least for me, it's a new faction. I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
right?
They look sloppy.
The reveal was bad. I'm not going to say the reveal wasn't bad, but it's just a matter of, okay, fresh blood. And between you and I, what the one thing fans complain about with WWE, and I think it has to deal with the scheduling and how much each wrestler makes, is just the lack of new, fresh talent, right? Mm-hmm. So some of the storylines, like you said, they get stretched out for too long. You've got, right now, the number of injuries has been ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Right? Before a lot of...
It's minor stuff that would have been like nothing, but I guess they're pushing themselves too hard.
No, a lot of people have been working with some small injuries for a while that finally... They needed a break. But one thing is that I will say, and it's a plus as far as for the actual athletes, they've been more mindful of health. Mm-hmm. They've been trying to, because there was a ridiculous amount of injuries and a lot of people felt overworked with Vince. And then, if you do take time for injury, would Vince put you back at the place that you were? So this post-Vince WWE, I don't like to take away from any of the credit that Vince did, because without his fanaticalism and ridiculousness, it wouldn't be the WWE it is today. So you can look back at everything he's done and talk about what was good and what was bad, but you can't take away from the fact that it was effective. But now they're in a more mindful, it's like the NFL after concussions. It's the NBA after Jordan. The league is taking care of, the organization is taking care of the wrestlers in a way that they haven't beforehand. So that way there's longevity in their careers, whether they stay in WWE or not. And I think that's great for the athletes. I know as fans, sometimes we forget about that aspect that they are people.
Yeah.
But the injury list has been so long that who do they have to work with? Do they bring up all of those NXT people, leave NXT dry again, and we go through another 2.0 era, which may get rid of the show? You see, it's a very nimble thing to walk, and I think that's why now, like I said, there are a lot of reasons as to why it makes sense to start televising these young people. When we start seeing them pop up and you're pulling from different places, the cross branding with Impact, which they never would have done with Vince.
Well, they're doing it now because AEW.
Yeah, but they're doing it with the brand that's even working with AEW. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care. They're like, we want to make sure that that we're cross-promoting, and they're bringing the champions from over there to here.
Like Triple H said, he's attacking every sports but NFL.
Yep.
Because he can't.
Well, that's not even that. They did the XFL. They brought it back.
No, but I'm saying he's saying that he's going to take over all sports, like be more views than them. Mm-hmm. But he was like, but he don't want to talk about NFL because NFL is their company. Yeah. But he even said it. But I don't mind Nexus coming back, but it should have came back with NXT.
Yes.
You know why? Yes. Because you have the new show coming, so they want to show better. So what's not better than smack the people down on NXT and say we're the real next generation? That would have been an impact.
I feel you. At the same time, I think Nexus should have been comprised of NXT wrestlers coming to the big brand. Yeah. They're going to do it that way.
But what is the new group name anyway? I keep calling them Nexus.
We're going to call them Nexus until they get their group, right? Because who knows? That could have just been the Wyatt Six. I don't know. Because where
right? The kids of the Wyatt Six. Bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I'm sorry, but you want to talk about people completely underutilized. It's just about every person a part of the Wyatt family, that reincarnation of it. Yeah. Every person, minus Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas just hasn't been wrestling with them for a while.
So it's one of those crazy things. But again, I'm glad you guys enter our second part. If you didn't catch our first part, go back to YouTube and, we'll be talking about it. But we got about 20 minutes left of this ending of our special. Since we didn't do it too much, we did a 2-part special here. One thing I would just say, did I just see Jey Uso lose?
Yep.
Why? Again, we were just talking about how his brain is going so many places. He don't know what to do.
That's exactly why.
And look, so that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's the second one.
He's going to The Rock. As I said, it's quite a possibility that he's backed by The Rock. But I think at the end of the day, what fans would want to see out of a Jey Uso win is what they wanted to see out of a Cody win, right? Someone who no one is fully believing can beat the odds, right?
Who did Cody, Rey Mysterio, Chris Benoit,
Chris
Jericho. But then he won a couple of times.
No, it's not that. It's the fact that he beat The Rock and Stone Cold.
Yeah, you
think he was going to be your undisputed champion?
Like, wait, Rock and Stone Cold?
And especially in an era of WWE where they're the two greatest, hands down.
Right.
For fans, you're either going to put The Rock number one or you're going to put Stone Cold number one, right? And then it's funny because they would both put Undertaker number one. Right?
Yeah, they'll tell you they're not number one.
And then at the end of the day, when you really look at it, who really might have been number one was Jericho. Yeah. But, we'll get that's a
every generation seems like you get one or two of those fights.
Right.
But I don't see it.
But that's the whole thing. I think Jey Uso winning the Rumble, a lot of fans supported it, but I don't think a lot of fans expected it.
But then again, now that you bring the Rumble up, John Cena on the thing, going to beat him up, and then he pushes John Cena, and John Cena just falls off and smiles at him. Could that be another clue?
And then afterwards, he was just like, "Congratulations, bro."
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Could that be another clue?
Saying. Like, when you said it, I'm just like, that's believable. But my thing is, at the end of the day, him losing this past week is because he's in his head. He's not focused on these matches. He's focused
and he needs someone to bring him back.
And if he takes these L's, it still makes him more human. Where Gunther now is going to be trash talking on the next week. You can't even beat so and so. How do you think you're going to beat me?
Yeah, and then, well, that's true. Yeah, if he brings it that way,
it's going to be leading to him surpassing his limits like an anime character and fighting Gunther, and But like you said, is there going to be assistance? And I think that's what makes Jey when Jey won the Rumble and he picked Gunther. I already knew it was because nobody really wanted a Gunther at WrestleMania, but how do you not have the champion fight at Mania, right? We talk about, you mentioned it earlier, someone elevating a belt, right? Gunther does not elevate belts. He holds the belt because it's believable that he wins. He dominates in ring, but no one cares about his matches. Who can elevate that belt? Who can give it purpose?
Especially on the WrestleMania.
Right. And someone like Jey, there's too much mystery. Like you said, do we know that he's working with The Rock? He has the whole bloodline thing behind him. Just the fact he could be winning and his brother still be pissed off out of nowhere because we've seen that happen time and time again.
And he'll come up, But
I'm like, dude, that Roman told you stop. Why are you still going?
WrestleMania now is they changed it to 4 days. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Thursday is because of Jay's intro. That's a whole thing right there.
The whole day.
No, but they changed it into a weekend thing, which is pretty cool. You can get to meet them and all that.
Yeah.
But again, if you're doing a 3-day thing, it makes sense to bring someone that could pop the whole damn stadium. Is going to be, people that don't know English, don't even know. I'm sorry to make it as a joke, but there's going to be mute people that don't know how to speak, but all know this.
Everybody knows to do that.
Everybody knows it. Blind people would be. You know what I'm saying? They're smacking somebody, maybe they don't know. I know I'm going to get slapped for that, but in overall, he's the one that can bring this. But then, how are they going to keep that up? That's why I keep thinking, how are they going to keep that atmosphere up of the intro versus when they start fighting?
I think the whole thing is that you're gonna have Jay in all of his matches. He's already figured that out, right? The hype of Jay Uso from when he walks in the ring to all of his matches is here to here, and then stuff happens in the match, and it builds eventually. Whether there's a big like I said, when his brothers got it, because he was main event Uso because he kept getting opportunities. And somebody kept screwing him. A lot of his matches, he didn't lose to the champion. Yep. He was screwed out of the championship. Which is why people were just like, it's about time. And they had such a long run with him as main event Uso. It's about time he is fighting for the championship. Yeah. And I just think that it's going to work out the way it always does. Because, I mean, he has one of the most hyped intros out of everybody.
Oh, yes.
Right? That when the bell's ringing, people are still yeeting in the crowd. But the start of almost every wrestling match is what? A test of power, a quick punch if you're really mad. But it's never anything as exciting as his intro. Right. So the match is going to proceed like normal, and I think it's going to be all about how the match ends. What is going to be the shot factor?
That's what I'm saying.
It
has to be a WrestleMania moment.
Even if he loses, right? He's going to lose miserably. We're going to see him like powerbomb through a table post match miserably.
Like he's going to be dominated through the half of the match.
It's going to be a spectacular fail if he loses. And I think if he wins, we're going to see something completely unexpected. Or an Eddie Guerrero win. Just like able to hit him with a chair, able to hit him with something, no one get caught, like that. We're going to see something along those lines.
Could be his brother comes in and finally helps him.
If they win with Twin Magic, I'm going to die laughing.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I'm going to die laughing.
Crazy. But here's my thing. From the beginning, it's day one, and all of a sudden Gunther said, you hear the music cut, and he's in the thing. We're not playing that music. No, we're not playing that music. And then Uso is just in the crowd says, takes the mic. You think you stop my music? We don't need that music. Let's go. And everybody singing it.
That would be dope.
Now you got the hype in the beginning. And then you got Uso dominating the first minute, let's say, because he's still hype. Right. But then he starts losing. And then WrestleMania moment towards the end to make him win. But what is it going to be? That's where the question is. Is he going to join The Rock? Is his brother going to come in?
Is Roman going
to? So there's so many ways they can do it. If they make him just win by a 1, 2, 3, I think it's going to be kind of boring.
I think that's part of what we're seeing now is that you can't take out that option, right? That 1, 2, 3 option. If he gets a clean, just oh my God, when he pulled it off, you're going to be hyped because you can't believe he beats Gunther.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it may not be the big storyline move that we want, right? But in its own merit, him getting that 1, 2, 3, however he gets it, as long as he wins that match, will be what everybody wants. I think that you can make it a bigger pop with a surprise or reveal, like even a heel turn with joining The Rock or something, right? Would be like, oh, do we celebrate? Or we have shocked, right? Because you can have just as big of a win in like with John Cena and Cody Rhodes.
I think this one will be a bigger one.
This would be.
Because they're going to be like, oh, wait, he joined them? Because it could be John Cena coming up to him and they're like, oh, man, John Cena is going to beat him up.
And hugs him
or something. It could be so many different ways to do it. It can be like us. We're just saying maybe Roman Reigns comes out to help him. Or maybe he doesn't. He comes out to
stop him.
So
what are you doing taking my match?
Right. I'm the one that's supposed to get the belt. It can be so many different ways where they can go with this, but they have to make it impact.
But I think that's exactly why he was the right choice, low key, to win the Rumble. I honestly think you could have made him an Elimination Chamber as well. I think that might have actually been more believable. But I'm happy that he's in this particular match that he went with instead of Cody.
Yeah.
Because Gunther needs it. Gunther, I think that this is one of the few times where if even Gunther wins the match, this might actually be something people remember as the Dream Crusher. Like, he might actually now make a name for himself as a champion. I feel if he wins, like this was the right billing.
Right.
This is definitely the right billing, and there's tons of possibilities. I think the best thing for the company though is if Gunther loses.
Yeah. Well, and it brings it back to the other side where Cody, everyone knew he was going to lose the belt in WrestleMania somehow. But to who? That was the question. But John Cena, of course, the GOAT, been doing everything with WrestleMania. But the thing is he at the level right now to beat Cody without cheating? So I'm thinking this is the reason why he jumped into the heel and make it more,
I don't think it matters either way. I think Cody Rhodes is walking out of WrestleMania with the title now that John Cena's heel. I think at the end of the day, this heel turn for Cena does so much for the legacy and his career that it's just like an oh my god wow already, that him losing as a heel officially, not him losing as the face and helping the young wrestler, but him as the heel who was willing to do everything desperately to get it, rises Cody and his championship to here, that whoever beats Cody now will be able to have something to lift off of, because after Cody loses his title, after completing the dream, they need a new story for him.
Yeah. Or they can go the other way. You know how many people said they were going to retire and never did?
No, they did. They just kept
they came back. So this could be a thing that he's going to retire, but now he wins the belt, and now he says, I'm going to stay here a little longer because WWE really needs me. Now he's really digging into the heel part.
To be fair, if he wins at WrestleMania now, according to what we all heard, this was his last year.
Right.
Which a lot of people forget isn't Mania.
Nope.
He said 2025.
Yep.
Which means he's going all the way to next December. To be honest, he didn't really do too much till the Rumble, that he might go all the way until January of 26.
And lose it there.
And lose it at that. Or just what I'm saying is we can be seeing him compete until the next Royal Rumble in theory. Right?
Because he said a year from
a year from when he comes back.
When he came back. So people thinking a year of the calendar. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. But it's definitely not WrestleMania. It's not. So that's what I'm saying. When he can win that belt.
So he can win now and still lose by SummerSlam, which is August, September, right? Around that time.
But will he lose to Cody, or will Roman Reigns come back into the play?
I don't know if it'll be Roman, but I have a feeling after Cody, whenever, and I'm not saying, like I said, I think he will win this WrestleMania, but whenever Cody loses, right, what do? Cody spent about two and a half years on this completing the dream run, right? Completed the dream. Fought name after name after winning the title too. Has been involved in a whole bunch of storyline. But when he loses the championship and the dream is done, what do we do with the American Nightmare? Because, it's like when Seth loses the championship for a while, we're like, what's Seth going to do, right? And sometimes he takes a break because he has a kid, right? Now, right? Then we know the first major was that, or injury or whatever, right?
Injuries.
Right? All these things going on, but like Roman after losing the title, while having the title, we're like, where he at, right? But at least he comes back for his title defense. But what do we do with Cody Rhodes if he loses the championship? He can't be a forever champion. We're not going to have another 4-year Roman Reigns.
Well, that's what I was thinking, that during the WrestleMania moment will be Roman Reigns' music playing. But it's not Roman Reigns. You know how they always do that music. Now, you turned around and think it's Roman Reigns to stop you from gaining up to his being the longest champion.
But
it can be so many different ways.
Do you think, and my thing is, after everything that happened with the bloodline stuff, right?
Because he didn't finish with Cody. And he said, I did not finish with you. Once I finish with my family, I'm going back to you.
But they also did work together briefly in that time against Solo Sikoa. I think if Cody hears the song, I don't think it necessarily was going to be a trigger for him, am I about to be jumped? Because he don't mess with Cena either.
But he messes with The Rock.
But The Rock and him are always fighting who leads the family.
Could be.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Put it like this.
I think the big surprise would be that
if Roman comes down the thing, it can go so many different ways.
I feel like Roman does better working for Cody to be like, I'm taking your title. Like, he's going to go to The Rock. Who told you someone else gets my belt?
Could be. And that that could wind up messing them up because you know how many people argue and then they push the other guy. The other guy falls, knocks out, and then here comes 1, 2, 3.
That's
so
true.
It could happen so many different ways.
I'm excited. Like,
but no matter which, because we're giving you
so many theories.
We can give you 3 hours of theories. But whichever way a bottom line is, it has to have an impact. Without WrestleMania losing that belt or staying with the belt, it has to make an impact.
I think this WrestleMania is probably the most anticipated I've been for a WrestleMania since COVID, right? And this includes the fact Cody Rhodes and those for the title run, matches against, and they were great. But looking at the card this year, I'm more excited because I have no idea. For sure.
Which way is going to go?
Which way they're going to go? Like this is one of those years where there's been so much back and forth and so many storylines, so many injuries, so many last second changes for all the belts.
And all the belts
have an unknown to them, and it is incredible. There's only one bad match.
I was just going to bring I was just going to bring that match up. Even that one has a I don't know story.
Because who cares?
Because Flair might.
They're the same person. There's just a 10-year difference.
And thicker and skinnier.
That's what, look, Charlotte Flair, I don't know what happened while you were out, but
that breakup really damaged her.
She forgot to eat. She
was gaining weight. She was looking, pretty okay, and then all of a sudden,
and I think that's the other.
And the outfit that you came back
with, still not in your size. I mean, for me, that's what I'm saying. Like, Charlotte definitely shouldn't be the one going for that. She has a lot to fix besides just the look, but just a lot to fix.
That's another thing too. Is if Tiffany wins this one,
Tiffany Stratton shouldn't even be the damn.
It's gonna be Tiffy time.
I'm not gonna look. I won't even know what happens because, like I said, I'll be on the toilet. But I wouldn't be surprised.
It's still Tiffy time
if Tiffany Stratton wins.
I'm going for Tiffany,
and I'm hoping that Tiffany Stratton
with a wardrobe malfunction.
That happened to somebody recently.
Her,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm going with her.
I'm hoping that Tiffany Stratton wins this match so Alexa Bliss can take it from her, and I'll leave it at that.
And you think about it now that you mentioned Alexa Bliss, Tiffy time. Don't she look like her partner that she was just partnering with, Trish Stratus? She looks a little like her.
Don't do that.
Then you got Alexa Bliss and Liz Morgan.
She does not look like Trish Stratus. She's blonde with fake boobs, but she is definitely not as fun, pretty, and she's too damn tall to be Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus.
They got the same.
Trish Stratus and Alexa Bliss look more alike.
Yeah, they do.
And look more alike because it's the small frame, busty. Don't do Trish like that. She look better than that.
Yeah, right. Oof. Tiffy time.
I've loved Trish Stratus since I was this big.
Yeah. It's going to be, and then you got the tag team belts that probably go away. The women's belts, which notice no one's really talking about the women's tag team belts since they broke up.
I mean, I feel like
they lost the belt, right? So now Liv Morgan and Raquel has it, but they're not really speaking about it or fighting about it. They still fighting like they singles and doing this.
Well, here's the thing: Liv Morgan, right, doesn't like to fight for her championship. So if she keeps hush about it and focuses on her singles, everybody's going to forget they're the tag team champs.
Yeah.
Right? And to be fair, before what Rhea Ripley did to them, they were the champs.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, they got back the title that they rightfully never really lost like that.
I just thought about something. That'd be crazy. Here's a twist, guys, if you want to write it down, WWE. Rhea Ripley comes back with a tag team person that no one ever knew, probably from Impact or something like that, and then gets the belt from Liv, since the whole thing falling down and everything going crazy is because of Liv. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right now she doesn't have the championship belt, so I'm not going to fight her for the championship belt, but I'm going to take something away from her that she loves too, the tag team. Come with even if you come with Mia Ching, I don't care. But bring a partner to take the belts away. Since she was the cause of her downfall.
Well, do we have any have they listed a women's championship match yet? Tag team match yet? There you go. So that's a possibility. I mean, WrestleMania is turned into a 2-day event.
And let's make it.
Right?
Let's make it. Fill it up.
Let's fill up the card. You're going to need, what, you got at least 8 championships now.
Yeah, fill it up. Make it. And now bring back the what's that? The Day of the Champions or whatever that thing is.
Night of Champions?
Night of Champions.
But they've done that.
But now you have so many championships that you don't even need no matches that have no championship.
No, Night of Champions is all championship matches. It's either so you've had versions of Night of Champions where it's champion versus champion.
Yeah.
Like but they did that joint with
speaking of champion versus champion, NXT.
Oh
they're
yeah.
Are they gonna merge the belts or are they just gonna keep it separate?
I don't know. I
That's the question.
No
like, why will you merge the belt if you just bring that new belt out? You just bring it out. It's like, okay.
Well, the last time someone had, because I think, you know who had both those titles? It was Michin's husband.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was the last person to have the NXT title,
the European
and the North American Championship. And he fought. There wasn't a single night that he fought with both the titles, but he did lose them individually.
Right.
They didn't make an undisputed champion.
If they do it like that, I can understand because
I think he's the only one who did. He might not be the only one, but he's the last person I can remember holding both titles at the same time.
Because you got the women's championship and the European championship where you just bring it out. Now all of a sudden you're going to combine them. Like, I understand their story because they both came from the same wrestling class and they both went to the same Japan. So I can understand that. I just don't understand how a Spanish person went through all that and never went to Mexico. Never did lucha libre.
Because she's from Chile.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Everybody assumes she's Mexican. She's from Chile.
Yeah. So, but it's a good thing. But if you're going to merge the belt, that's kind of dumb. Why bring the belt out and merge it?
Well, I'll be 100% honest with you. From the moment they walked in, I feel like they've had it too easy.
Them two?
Those two. I don't want to say that they don't deserve it, but they don't. They really. There's a whole women's locker room, and that's what I liked about the storyline. It felt real, of women who've been really grinding it out. They come off of stuff with hype, and they get the belt, and now there's this champion nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of heads have just been skipped.
Like when they said champion,
Jada Parker needs a championship.
They said champion versus champion, and I'm like, they could have done that without the championship belt.
For real.
Like, you're here, I'm here. I always wanted to find out who's the best between us. They don't need a championship for that. So now you just.
But what did they just do in what's his face in Riyadh?
Which one?
The Arab PLE.
Oh.
And they got that stupid green belt.
Yeah.
What happens to the green belt now that Liv ain't the champion, by the way?
No, that was just a belt for there.
No, that belt means that she was the champion of champions at the time.
Yeah.
Right? So like now, do we have to wait until the next champions, and then that person gets the belt from Liv? But if Liv ain't the champion,
she's gonna always be the champion of that belt until they go. Her and Cody.
That's some bull. or do they get to fight somebody for that championship at that event only?
They have to, like
I'm you know what? As dumb of a pay-per-view as that, what I am now interested in is what they're going to do with that green belt, because she also stopped carrying it around.
Yeah, she wasn't allowed to take it out. That's why they gave them the ring. They wasn't allowed to take the belt out. The belt is still in their museum, and they take the ring, and that's. So it's like I can understand it because
such a waste.
There's a lot of martial arts tournaments, especially the Empire State and the Chuck Norris, that when I won, I didn't have to fight the whole year. I came back to defend at the end of the year. So maybe that's what they're going to do. But that means what will happen if they're not with them?
Neither one of them is a champion. How are you fighting for a belt that, you got to be homeboy for? That's his belt.
Yeah, but that's their belt into the whole year.
It's like,
I don't know. But anyway, we gave you so much scenarios and what we think and what was going to happen. We're going to do another special like this, especially close to WrestleMania, a 2-part, because this is getting ridiculous and it's going to get so hyped. But we're going to find out. You're still thinking about that. Bro, they got a ring. You know? If you want it, put a ring on it. That's what they said.
They do want it. That's why they fought for it.
Listen.
She fought Nia Jax, and she don't get to walk around with that belt.
She don't get to walk. She got to walk around with the ring. So, again, comment below. Should they be having a tournament before that event and fighting for the belt? And who is going to fight for the belt against her? That's another question. So, then we're just putting questions after questions out of here. So, because they don't even talk about it no more.
They really don't. It's never brought up. Like, Liv don't even brag about it on the mic. Like,
I noticed a couple weeks ago she didn't have the ring on.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, bro, there's nothing. There's nothing of that belt.
It's a 24 hours, 24/7 belt.
Nah, it's not even a 24/7 belt. And somehow, some way, every now and again, you see Homeboy with that belt somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. So, listen, but find out. Let us know. Comment below who you think is going to win these matches that we were talking about. And if you have a different storyline, comment below for the chat room and everyone could, chat in and figure it out. Like I said, I'm still going with, there's another person coming on WrestleMania to join the corporation. And what is the name of the corporation? The Soul Takers?
No, TKO, bro. We said it many times. TKO.
You think so?
That's what he works for.
Yeah, but that's a stupid name for
their name is the corporation, right?
No.
He never gave it a name, so it's TKO, obviously.
I think it's the Soul Snatchers or something. Something good.
Why does that sound like something that Sexual Chocolate would have made? It's a fashion called the Soul Snatchers.
I don't know. Listen, but whichever way, they're gonna remind me of the Randy Orton, Ric Flair, Triple H, and Batista.
Evolution.
We
need more factions, and we need to figure out what's going on with that damn belt.
Yes. We'll see you next time, guys. And remember, check them out on Geekums World, Will's Review, and a couple other stuff. Myself, you can check me out on LDM Show and Speak Out. So this is a little bit more of wrestling talk, and I hope you have fun.